make a big wreath. I am getting back in the saddle from after my surgery, so I'm excited to be here. So welcome, welcome. Guys, we're streaming everywhere, so remember to like, subscribe, follow, share, do all those wonderful things for us. That would be awesome if you could do that. And you're going to want to be on our text list, because right now we're texting out to everyone where we are live. So you can grab a spot on the text list at textkelly, textkelea.com. So you're seeing a lot of arrangements in the background, y'all. Hey, Ramona, good to see you over here. You guys are just coming on live on YouTube and Facebook. These are projects we've been doing in design school. So I want to make something tonight that kind of goes with them. We've been on a neutral kick. One of the things I like to do in May and June is make pieces that can kind of work into fall. So if you sell at craft shows or you want to make things for your house, this is the time of the year. Yes, you can do beautiful summer pieces too, but neutrals sell very well at shows and in shops this time of year. So we've been working with a blue color palette and a cream color palette in design school. And so the wreath we're going to make tonight is going to go with those, because we're going to be transitioning into fall real soon. So then we'll be going into all the fall trends. So that's what we're going to do together. So I started off here, guys. This is a 18-inch wreath base. Now, I'm doing pretty good with my knee, but if I start to be like, guys, I surrender, you know what's happening. Okay, you're like, Kali, just melted down. Live on video. Hey, Abnel. Hey, Bonnie. Hey, Wanda. I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. I had like an intense rehab today, physical therapy, and it went good. It was hard, real hard today. So for this wreath, what I think we're going to start with, let me find a good center here, is we're going to use a filler flower like we normally would a greenery. We're going to let that rock the perimeter of this design. We're going to do that next. Hey, Michaela. Hey, Jordan. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I mean, it's a challenge to be up here standing, but I'm kind of making myself do it, Jordan. Hi, Vince. Hey, Trudy. Hi, Susan. You guys, I'm saying hi to the folks on Facebook right now if you don't know who I'm talking to. Sometimes that frustrates people. So that's who I'm saying hi. These are my friends over here. Hey, Susan and Bonnie. I'm taking the price tags off these. Y'all, it's hot, hot, hot in Houston. So I got the fan blowing on me. So if I get some berries blowing up here, you know, flying. Think of it as preparation for the fall, and when the snow starts coming on all the glitter, ooh, then we're gonna really have fun, right? Hi, Vicki. Wanda, I'm a trooper. Thank you so much. I try to be. I try to be. So let's break down these bushes, and we're going to use these like greenery. Hi, Sue. Hi, Janice. Hi, Dolores. I got to turn the fan down. Things are just flying right into my mouth. Hold on. I got to turn the fan down. Don't overdo it. I'm trying not to. I told y'all. Jordan, yeah, this is a design school class. Yes. We did it live on Tuesday, Jordan. That's a brand new one. You got your text? Yay! Hey, Karen. Hey, Lucinda. Hey, Rose. What was I going to say? Oh, the good-looking guy who's doing my therapy. Yeah, he's a motivating factor. He is actually great. He encouraged me, and, you know, that it don't take much for me to be like, oh, work harder, work harder. Hey, Christy. All right, yeah, yesterday I did my live in here sitting down, so we're moving up. Thanks, Trudy. I love these little cutout sleeves, you know. You don't see the floppy part, right? You keep it looking good on the top. We don't need snow. Hey, fake snow, Sue. All fake, right? Thanks, Karen. Hi, Anna. Anna's checking in from Washington. Nice. Let me bring the garbage a little closer, guys. Otherwise, I just make another mess for me to clean up later. Let's try to keep it under control. All right, let's get it going. So the inspiration for tonight is I want to get it really, really neutral. A nice wreath that could go on somebody's door till late summer, okay? And let's say they have just hedges They're not like a Kali who's got to have coordinating flower beds and all that stuff. So, which most people aren't going to be like crazy like I can be with my garden. So they just want a neutral wreath. That's kind of the look we're going for tonight. All right. Hey, Christina. Thank you. Can I hold the wreath sideways? I'm curious how thin it is. Let's see. It's not too thin. It's fairly thin. That doesn't matter. Remember, Sue, just like I say in design school, you're going to go in. You're not going through that back. We're going in. Vince, I'm pushing a little too quick. Are you allowed to take it easy? No, Vince. No. Khalid wants to play tennis. So what I was getting at with my therapy guy, he worked me hard today. And I might have let a dirty word slip out. Well, I guess he wasn't expecting that, and that cracked him up. And I had to apologize to the other older gentleman who was working out right beside me. So, y'all, you may not know, but I was a college athlete. I'm capable of working hard, and I've worked out hard and done rehab and done therapy and all that. So, you know, I'm going to go hard when I'm in there. Well, I had to apologize, but they got a great laugh out of it. Richard thought it was great. But I was able to get rid of my other crutch today, so I've been walking around pretty much without crutches. It's exciting. I'm feeling good. So, Dolores, when you see me put that little piece on, that's Spanish moss. So, I cover up my mechanics with Spanish moss. So, you're going to see me use that after each piece, anytime I can see glue, okay? That's just a technique I've used for a very long time. So that's why on Cleese.com we carry Spanish moss in different colors for different seasons of the year. I love it. Okay? Yes, it's an 18-inch wreath. You got it. Hey, Margaret. Right? Ruth, I had a meniscus tear. So they just scooped out the bad part of the meniscus that was torn, got the little bits out, and then they checked around for anything else, and that's what I had done. So I don't know how I reacted compared to other people, but it was hard for me. It was hard, and physical therapy is hard too. And I swear the doctor said, 3 days you'll be up moving around, and I was, but it wasn't easy. He needed to tell me a little more detail. Patty, yeah, Honey Bunny is spoiling me. He is. Aw, thanks, Roxanne. I'm working on it. Well, I've done a couple of lives, but the energy was lacking. I don't do good on drugs. I saw a video I did of the dogs when I was on the pain pills. It was kind of funny. Dan, it is getting better. Linda, I didn't have a cane. I had a full set of crutches. So at first, 2 crutches, then 1 crutch. Today, 0 crutches. I still am limping a little, but we're getting better. Okay, let's bring one more to the inside here. So I'm using this filler flower. Instead of like a normal filler flower, we're using it like a greenery. So I'm going to use more than you normally would, because I really want this to spread around. Should I be standing, Kim? I'm fine. I'm fine standing. I'm good. I'm cleared to do whatever I can do already. Yeah, Wanda, you can use any color. I like to use the light green for fall, but a lot of times you don't really see this. But the dark green is fine also. Y'all are so sweet. Y'all are all like my mothers and fathers and brothers and sisters looking out for me all the time, and I appreciate that. And actually, all of your input is so helpful, because a lot of you have gone through things that I've never gone through. And then, I hope it could help somebody else on here. Coach Marissa is one of the coaches over at the Business Coaches, where I coach at Makers University. And she's having her knee repaired today. So I definitely was sending her any help I could give her on what I just experienced, Hey, Pat, good to see you. Dee Dee says it's really not easy after surgery. I've been out of town 8 days. Yay, I'm glad you're here, Dee Dee. Right, Kim, we're strong. Okay, here's what we got so far. You guys over here on TikTok. Here are you guys here. Got a nice shape. I'm kind of defining my shape. Now I know I'm going to use my bright white clematis on this, but we're going to fill in the background first, and then we're going to let that clematis do its thing. All right. Elevate after my live, yeah, and I'm going to ice. I'm just going to send Coach Marissa my ice machine that I got. It works really good. Right? Your PT had you cursing, Brenda, right? I did too. I did too. It came out. I can't help it. Hello over here. Hey, Ruby. Glad you're here. Okay, we're going to mix. This is that eucalyptus stem with the lamb's ear. It's got a combination of both, which is really killer. And then I love that it has this touch of wired, even on the eucalyptus. So that makes it stand up really pretty, which is awesome. How are you doing, Nancy? Now, yesterday I did ask where people were watching from. We hadn't done that in so long. So, you guys, if you haven't commented in a while and you didn't participate yesterday, tell me where you are watching from. I find that interesting. I'd love to know that. Do I sell my wreaths? I do. We sell them at a local boutique here in Houston. If you're ever seeing me make a wreath that you're interested in, I used to sell them all on Etsy. I've got about 10,000 wreath sales on Etsy. But now I do teach my students how to merchandise in boutiques and sell in boutiques as well. So if you see one you like, guys, you can always email us and I will put it on Etsy for you. That's no problem. But generally they go into the store because I like to teach merchandising also. And I have a history of, I think 17 years I did craft shows on the road and quit my teaching job to do that. That was before I had Kaya. And I mean, I say quit, but I properly left my teaching job. And I did craft shows. So I have a history of merchandising and setting yourself apart from the competition, how to make your booth look beautiful. So I like to share that with my design school students too. There's a big glue string here. Okay, I gotta take a breath. And I'm really, guys, on a total Dr. Pepper mission here. You're welcome. Hey, and the email is info@Calise.com, guys. If you can't find any of that, just go to Calise.com. If you click on the top, everything's there. You guys are from Sulphur, Texarkana. I know how to say it. Texarkana. Georgia. San Diego, Sandy. Nice. Let's see where else everybody is. Wow. Really great, Ruth. It's a lot. The rehab, I'm sure, is a lot. Hey, Kimmy. Yay, I'm glad you're here. Oh, awesome, Patty. You haven't been crafting in 2 years. Okay, well, we're here. You know, whenever you're ready to start again, we're here to motivate you. Summertime is a great time to gear up for the fall and Christmas coming. And you're going to see, we're going to make the transition soon. You're going to be like, oh, Lord, I think she just pulled out a scarecrow. That's how it's going to happen. It happens quick. We have to stay above. You know, when you sell online and you do stuff on the internet, you got to stay ahead. Because that's what the algorithm's like. So sometimes it can be a little obnoxious. But I do want to remind everybody, if you do sell in person in boutiques and things like that, you can't necessarily get that far ahead. People aren't going to go buy that today. Some exceptions, but in general, you got to stay a little more. That's why we're making neutral. Hey, Nancy is West Virginia, Modesto, California, Michigan, Wisconsin. You guys are all over. I feel like I should have a song. Oh, you know that song? It was a country song, and it would be like, Georgia, Alabama, Wisconsin. You know that one? Let me think about it. I've been everywhere, man. Across the desert there, man. That one. That's the song we should be singing. Who sings that? That's an oldie. Shriver, Louisiana. Wow, Trudy, you're close to Damon? Okay. Trudy with the booty. I knew you were in Louisiana. But you're just an hour. Now, Trudy, you go up, down, east, west, and Damon's in the far right bottom. Where are you? Hey, Sherry, you're just starting to craft? Nice. I love it. Johnny Cash. Thanks, Kim. I knew one of y'all would come through. I'm a little too tired to get my song game on today. I need to have a better song game. Michaela, you're 30 minutes from me? Oh my gosh. Sometimes I break out into random songs, so if you're new and that bothers you, I'm sorry. It may not be the place for you. I just like to sing. Okay, let me get some moss in here. So I kind of just separated the sprays we had before of the white. I'm popping in the Spanish moss on the blue, but I separated them with bits and pieces of that eucalyptus. Okay, that look nice. Looks so pretty. Kathy's checking in from Bakersfield. Let's see. We've also got Bood. Bood, is that how you say it, Chrissy? Christy? Chrissy, I've renamed you. Every time I say Chrissy, I have a friend named Chrissy too, but every time I say that, I want to sing a song for you. Come and knock on our door. We've been waiting for you. Where the kisses are hers and his, three's company too. All right, we're gonna put some baby's breath, otherwise known as not baby's breath. Gypso. We're putting gypso in. Wait a second. When do you make 3 wreaths today? I agree with you, Christy. Music is good for the soul. A dang yellow jacket just flew past me. What the? So Trudy Damon is east of you. That would make sense. Why don't you fly on that spider web right there, buddy? Sonia, they will help you in the comments. They will help you. Thanks, Donna. Okay, we're going to put this in next. Bonnie's 90 minutes from Bakersfield, so she's not far at all. Okay. Let's get this in. Did you guys watch Three's Company? You were staying with me after we said Christy? I know you were. I know you were. Oh. What's his name? Mr. Farley? Is that right? I love it. Dolores, I wish I could have music playing. Now, I have seen on TikTok, y'all, some TikTok people play music. But because I'm streaming everywhere, I can't play music in the background. But you know, I would just be singing it out. Y'all would be like, oh, Lord. Here she goes again. Singing Wreath Maker. All right, I'm going to kind of cluster this in here. I got a no bow plan for this. So I want to use these right up and in here. Now I'm fighting this a little bit because I don't want it to come out the back. We're going to cluster nice and chunky in here. Hey, Angie, good to see you. I'm so glad you're here. Oh my gosh, I'm glad you're here. I hope you're doing good. Alice is off doing weddings all over the country. Central Kentucky, Janice. Awesome. You guys on TikTok are quiet, and I see that some of you are watching over there. Like, say hello or say something. Give us some action. Mr. Roper, thanks, Deb. Thank you. Who's Mr. Farley? What is that then? There's a Farley. What is that in? Is that a different show? You're taking a break from school? I love it. Yeah, I'm cool, right, Sonia? Yes. I'm all about being cool in my own little freaky weird world. My 70s, 80 girl here. Really pretty much the 80s. I was just a little kiddo in the 70s. Let's put a little more here. Going for the chunky monkey look right in here. My fan is still making me snort this moss. Up the nose with the rubber hose. Did your parent? My dad used to tell me that. Up your nose with a rubber hose. Jackie, I'm glad you're here. Right? She's just doing weddings. I'm loving it. Hi, Faith. Good to see you too. Faith, are you in? Something just fell. Oh Lord. Oh, my little candlestick fell over. I forgot to hang that back up. Faith, aren't you in Michigan? If not, remind me where you live, Faith. Ooh, that looks pretty. Nice and chunky in here. Hi, Kathy. Mr. Roper was the first Lanya. Farley was Don Knott. Oh, okay, Kim. Thank you. All right. Yeah, I like Don Knotts too, but yeah, Mr. Roper was the one with his wife in the moo-moos. Yeah, she wore those moo-moos. Oh, gosh. TV used to be so simple. We had like 3 channels to choose from. You knew every show you loved. It can't be Boy Meets World because I don't even ever watch that. Hi, Jeannie. You love the neutrals? Awesome. Good. You're north of Charleston. Thank you, Dolores. Faith, you are in Michigan? Boom. That's right. That's what I thought. I could have messed it up, Faith, but I'm feeling cocky tonight. All right, we're going to bring in this Daphne Odora bush, which has been a lot of fun to work with. Kind of works like a flower. I've used it in several pieces. We're going to tuck that in and around. And maybe we're not even going to use our clematis. Maybe we're not going to. But let's just keep popping this in to fill it out. It's a little bit different texture. So I think it's going to tuck nicely in around here. And we'll see if we can have that pop out. Hey, Cherie. All right, let's bring this in. So I'm shaping it up really good. Darla in Ohio. Darla, I don't think I have it memorized yet, Darla. I'll work on it. Go in right around here. Oh yes, I like how that's tucking up against there. Oh, it's a different texture, same color palette. We're talking a winner. Deb, Southeast Pennsylvania. You know, I'm really bad. Once you get out of Texas, Louisiana, like Mississippi, and I know some California, and then I'm lost. So I would need y'all to give me help. But you know, I would ask you guys, because y'all always help me out if we're traveling or something. You know, we're going to Canada again this summer to go see my in-laws, so we're going to fly into Syracuse and then go over the border there somewhere. So that should be interesting. I got to figure out what the new rules are on vaccination. Look how pretty that is. I like that. Let's get another little section right in the middle. Maybe a little longer piece. Thanks, Emily. Hey, I'm actually feeling a lot better today. You might see me limp or a little, but I feel so much better. I'm ready to play out here and get things going, you know. I'm glad you're loving it. Jackie's in Ohio also. Deb, originally from San Angelo. And Deb, tell me again where you are now. You guys, if you want to know, where the heck are you from, Clea? I'm from Houston area. I live in a town called Sugarland, where everybody's sweeter. Home of the Imperial Sugar Company, which is no longer, but that's what it was for many, many years. I just love how that's filling in right there. I want to show you up close. I'm standing on it some, Jackie. You guys, look at this. That pretty in there. I'll show you all close up too. Ooh, so pretty. Jody, you're in Wisconsin, right below Canada. So, forgive the ignorance. We have to go to Ontario, headed towards Toronto. So, are we going to be remotely close to you? I'm bad. Let's not embarrass myself, but if I am, let me know. Okay, here's a couple more. Yo, my husband's Canadian, so we're going to go see his dad and his mother and his sister. Really excited to see family again now that we can travel better with COVID. It's exciting. All right, I want to let this look like it kind of grew out just a little bit and it came into this next section, okay? So I definitely am doing this design a little more compacted to where things are a little bit layered, but they're growing out into the next section, so it feels really natural. Leanne, you needed this? Yay! I love to hear that. I love to inspire you. Okay, Deb, originally from San Angelo, you now live in southeast Pennsylvania. Well, that is a big change, Deb. Yes, Penny, we are renting a car in Syracuse, driving to Toronto. That is the plan. Only because it was so much cheaper, and we have to rent a car in Toronto anyway. So hopefully there's no problems with renting cars and doing that. And I hear gas in Canada is just a bargain, so we're just gonna have to, it is gonna be what it is. Okay, so I let that kind of spill over. Let's come to the top and do the same thing. Linda, you're impressed with my standing ability. I am a rock star on this right leg. Like, the left leg's like, whoo. Thank you, Mama. I did good today. I did these sit-up drill, not sit-ups, but like sit in the chair and go down and get back up and not use my hands and like not just throw yourself up. That was good today. I was seeing the older ladies and gentlemen in there, and I was like, I got this one. I got you. It was terrible. No, I was not doing that. I thought about it, but yeah. Awesome, Denise. Cindy says, I'll be close to you in Buffalo. Josie Payne does come back. I will be. I'm still taking ibuprofen and Tylenol. Don't worry. Carrie, we've already reserved the car. We got it reserved. It's all good on that part. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you, Roseanne. Okay, so we let that spill into the other regions. I'm going to put one more right here. And now I think we're going to do some twig magic. So I was going to use the pretty clematis, but instead I think I want to pop in more smaller heads and not use these, okay? Oh, really? Well, my in-laws live in Canada. My husband's from Canada, so I think we should be good. I think we should be good. We just haven't traveled there with COVID in the last 2 years, so. All right. So this branch, we had this last night on the live sale, so you might have picked some up. But I'm going to use a little bit in here to add a little bit more movement and motion. So I'm going to divide this into a few sections. And let's put this in to get a little, let's get a little twiggy. So much more twiggy. Twiggy to levels unknown. Okay, let's cut it. Okay, thank you for the follow over here. You're awesome. I like that. I can see that on the TT. You don't know what that means. It's not what you mean. I don't know what I'm supposed to say or see or do, so I don't get, you know, there's all these words you're not supposed to say or do, and I try, and then I try to be all funny, and then you realize you just made a potty word. That's not good. Oh my gosh. Yes, Pat, these are $119. We gotta make it at least 20 wreaths out of these. Yes, this is the one. Oh, it's funny. That's 2 weeks in a row we've done that too. The week before it was $8,000. We did something for $8,000. Oh my gosh. You know, it's just a decimal place, and you got it. All right, let's put this one in next. Oh, it was supposed to be TikTok. That didn't come out right. I realized that mid-sentence. Oh my goodness, y'all. I got jokes for days. Jokes, songs, 80s, 90s references that no one will probably get anyway. Let's bring this up here. I'm going to try to overlap it a little. So I just kind of short, not too crazy. I'm going to put this one over here. I got a glue string. Get out of there. All right, let's go up a little higher with this one. I am going to bend those forward. Roxanne, I'm glad you love the neutrals. They really do well for us this time of year. We have several design school students who have been doing well with them in their Etsy shop. So, you know, try different textures. Think, you know, it doesn't always have to be eucalyptus and lamb's ear and all the same trending simple wreath. You can still add textures. People still want different things. Play with it. Give it a try. Karen, I keep it around 250 to 350. It just depends on the glue. And it also kind of depends on how much glue you have in the pot and all that. But start at 250. You want it the consistency of like a thick honey. It shouldn't roll off that stem right away. It should be hanging in there. Let me see if I can show you on this one. I'm going to put another one down here. So I'm bending these first, then I'll go in the glue pot. So you see me do that little swirl. That's to get rid of the glue string. But see how it's not dripping? Okay, it's like slowly dripping. That's what we're talking about. Okay? All right, let's come in here. Now let me get, oh yeah, like that popping up right there. That's cool. Oh, the 80s music cruises. Oh, how fun, Dolores. How fun. So you were just like, hey, one wreath, I'm going to have a great month. I love it. It's easy just to add an extra zero or move the decimal, isn't it? All right, let me step back for a second. Cindy says, if you're going to cross the Peace Bridge from Buffalo to Ontario, you have to go on CanadaArrive.com to register to cross the bridge. Yes, and I think we have to do that anyway for our, what is it called? For our COVID vaccines and put them into something else, Canada something. Oh, Deb, you've got Laverne and Shirley stuck in your head. Shamil, Shemang, and then I'm going to go into come and knock on a door. We've been waiting for you. All right, we got 2 twigs going up. We got 3. We got 2 going down. Let's put one more 3 going down. Now I'm going to get Three's Company in your head. Oh. All I can remember, Laverne and Shirley, is dang, freaking. It's Laverne who's always getting in trouble, right? And she's causing the problem for Shirley. Isn't that right? Is that the L? No, it's Shirley. One of them's always causing the trouble. Right, Faith? That was Mr. Farley? Okay. Let me show you guys what we got. See what you think. I see a little bit of a hole right here. I've got one more cluster I can add. I think it looks pretty fun and pretty wispy. I want to put one more little piece here to transition before that goes completely down. You could also take and cut that back a little. If you get in there, you're like, okay, that's just, it's shooting out too far from everybody else. You could take and cut that, and we could tuck it in a little more. So never fear if that happens to you. I'm glad you like it, Debbie. It's just a different texture today. We didn't use a bow. Let's say you're a bow person. You're like, my customers are not going to like this. They got to have bows. So that, right where we put the baby's breath, you can put, or the gypso, you can put the bow right in here. Easy peasy. Substitute that in. I'm going to put this down in here to tuck that one in. And I think we got it, guys. This was so fun hanging out with you. You guys, if you didn't grab a spot on our text list, you're going to want to. We're going to text out the supply list for this project if you want to make one just like this. You can do it. You can make your own just like it. Hey, Bloomerinos, guess we're going to make a really simple greenery wreath. And this one we're going to make in the style of a very viral trending design. So if you haven't seen it yet, you're going to love it. Come on in, let's start making this together. This one has a really simple supply list. We're going to work with a smaller wreath base. For me, this is going to be a 14-inch. And then we're going to use 4 greenery bushes that are all alike and just 1 roll of neutral ribbon. So it's just a great basic design that you can make anytime. It makes a great gift. But also, if you're a seller, this is a great one to stock your shop with. Because it's just greenery, it can sell anytime, and it works really good for for people to use inside their homes as well as on their front porches in between the seasons, and those that don't really want to decorate for the seasons but want like a nice classic look all year long, this is perfect for them. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm using a really nice leafy greenery that has a little bit of a bud on it. This is basically like a seeded eucalyptus. And I need to cut these really long on each bush. And I'm going to leave about 3 stems attached to the stem because I need some really long to create this kind of trailing, like a trailing look to it. It's not viney, but it's trailing. So I'm going to kind of show you how to do that. So I'm going to leave 3 or 4 of these. Let's see how 4 looks on our bush to get started. Now I'm going to put my hanger on last this time, just so I get a good shape going on this one. Now, the thing about greenery is if you're using something with a leaf like this, I like for it to kind of face forward. We're going to go down to 3. So I'm going to try to get these leaves on this somewhat facing forward and a little bit spread out. Because the reason we didn't cut these off the stem is we need a little bit more length. This design we're making is trails off on the left-hand side. So in order to get that same look, you can see here I'm going to rotate these leaves forward. And they don't all have to be forward, but I think it looks a little bit nicer to see the front of the leaf. That's one of my major pet peeves. But you can see I spread them out. And now we're going to use these lower down on this wreath to kind of cascade off this side and start the longest part of the design. So we're going to take this and go ahead and get some glue on it here. And then we're going to work backwards. Since this design has been trending all spring, I cannot wait for us to see how it morphs into some designs we can do going into the fall. I think that's going to be really exciting. So let's go there. Now I'm going to take, I already broke down a bunch of bushes, 3 bushes already, and have rotated them to where their leaves face forward. And I'm going to start putting these in. And we're going to build up from the bottom up. Now, I prefer to cover my mechanics of glue with a little bitty ball of Spanish moss just to hide the shininess of the glue. When it dries, it usually would show. And this is just a nice, and like a natural green on the Spanish moss. So I've already cut these down and rotated them all to the front. So we're going to start with these first and work our way backward. So I want to create like a little line here to go over the pieces we have already put in. You see how they're overlapping a little bit here? And you can rotate them. They're beautiful, and we're just kind of layering it up. This is a nice leafy greenery that's on a wired stem instead of just hanging like a lot of this type of greenery would be. So I love that we can control the movement in here because of the wire. That's why you want to get your floral supplies from Calise.com, because I'm really picky and I want to make sure that we've got a good fabric for the leaf, we've got a nice dimension created with the wire, and we've got good color. So we've got the combination of all that. So we're starting off just beautifully. Look at the movement. Oh yeah. All right, so we want to kind of taper a little bit as we work through here till we get up to the peak of the wreath. And that's what you have to decide, where you want to change direction. That's going to be totally up to you and kind of the shape you want to create. But I'm going to start working my way up. So, and as I go along, if I need to still turn a leaf or 2, I'm going to turn it. No problem. So I kind of use a little bit of a zigzag placement technique. That's something I teach in design school. And that'll help you get equal placement when you're putting it in. And because I've been doing this so many years, I've been able to break down the process into very simple terms and easy ways for you to understand what we're trying to accomplish in the placement. I'm always saying you can't just shove it and stuff it in there, or you get a shoved and stuffed look design. You want to think about, how am I putting it in? How am I placing it? Oh, it's so lush. This is so pretty. I love this. You know, and this has that pretty green that would work all summer long. And of course, you can add anything you want to this look. We could add florals. It's a great foundation. Matter of fact, I did a video the other day using a BBB box And we kind of created this same type of base. We didn't make it quite as full as this one because we were layering more flowers with it. But can you see how pretty it is so far? And this is my really elongated side. Gorgeous. All right, so before I get over here to the transition part, let's see how far we want to come on this side and kind of work on our shape. So I'm going to take a few pieces and we're going to work outward now, going on the other side of a C. This is like an elongated C shape. Okay, let's put this piece in. We can start here and start to decide how far we want to come down. I definitely want it longer on this side and shorter on this side. Let's give that a flip. Yeah. So if that's going to be our longest point, you can see how this is going to come down, and I'm going to work from there backward. I like using about 4 bushes to do this with, of this particular bush. You may need more or less if you don't work with what I'm telling you today I'm using. Just kind of depends on how full you want it. And of course, I want it pretty lush. Of course I want it lush. Oh, y'all, I am loving this type of trend. This is more kind of my style, a little bit more natural and just a little simple, but I think it gives you that beautiful finished look. We take our time and build it up, and we're still zigzagging, and we're just paying attention to where our finished pieces are going to lay as we work our way up. Now, I am still rotating leaves because I think it's important. I don't want to see the backs of anything, and that's why I'm getting such a good look here. And it's layering so pretty together. Look at that. It's really pretty. Now let's go on the top. So I'm going to rotate these around. Flip them around, and I'll go back to the top. And I want to make sure we're kind of beefy up here, like fullness up here. I made some gorgeous horse head wreaths that we did for Wreath Makers Live last year. And they kind of use this same technique to get the fullness. We used pampas grass, some different type, they almost were like millet, artificial millet seed bushes. And all of that was just so pretty when we layered it up. Okay, you can see our shape come in here. Oh my gosh, y'all. Look. So pretty. So pretty. This leaf was a perfect choice for this. And I'm going to show you how we're going to build up this. We're going to build it 2 ways. So I think it's a good idea to have some options with or without the bow. So you need to know how to make it nice and neat and clean in case you decide, hey, my customer doesn't want a bow, I don't prefer a bow. You have both options. Time to cut our last bush for fullness, and then we'll need to do the same thing and make sure that these are all facing forward also. So now I'm working up kind of in the transition zone where we will be putting in the bow. Let me go up above. Y'all, we are gearing up for our latest seasonal workshop. I'm very excited about it. So make sure you're asking about it in the comments. We can give you a link to come join us. And don't forget, Design School members, they don't pay for workshops. They get workshops for free. So it's another benefit for being in Design School. Let's come below the transition down here. Just gonna watch. Oh, so pretty. So I'm going to fill in right here really tight while we're changing direction, because just in case we don't want to use a bow in there, I want you to have both options so you can see it both ways. Oh, it's so pretty. So beautiful. And it's the wire that's making this leaf greenery work, because I'm able to give motion to each piece. That's your secret sauce, guys. It's the motion. And we're able to create that because it has a nice wire. All right, I'm going to come a little bit more to the outside here. All right. This is so pretty. This would be gorgeous, like to make a garland too to match this. All right, now what I want you to do is kind of step back from your piece and take a look and see, hey, where do I have any holes? Where did I miss a little space? I'm going to put one more right in here. And this one that goes in here needs to be a little bit shorter, so I'm going to just cut a piece into 2 pieces. And you can easily do that by just trimming it, and now I have 2. And I'm going to come in right in the center. Now, where the direction changes is where you're going to put your bow, and we would call that your bow zone in design school. That's where we're going to put our bow. But if you don't want a bow and you just want all greenery, that's okay too. What you want to do is just work in this section to where you get good coverage where the direction changes. See how pretty? Don't you love it? This is a longer rosemary. This is kind of like the kind you would use on your barbecue pit, and you pull the leaves off, or you might use some of the wood to give it that nice flavor. This is an artificial type like that, and it's got the longer stems. So that's going to work great for our perimeter and have a really natural vibe. So I'm going to grab my wire cutters, and you're going to cut these as long as they will go. Now this one is too thick. If I leave it like this, that's too many pieces. We're going to cut that off. We want them all to be kind of smaller pieces because this wreath isn't all the way around. It's 360 design, so we want to take them all the way. And I'm just going to cut each one of these off here too. And you're doing this so you're prepping your bush, so it's really easy to work with. We can leave a couple clusters, but we want to have a nice strong stem. And you want to grab your Spanish moss because we're going to need it too right now. And we're going to just work our way around the perimeter with these. And we're just going to start off working our way around. I'm generally going to go clockwise, and you're not going to go all the way down to the edge. You see I'm kind of going in that 3/4 spot. You guys, if you love these type of wreath designs, we would love to have you in our design school where weekly we come out with new tutorials, and you get a weekly live with me, answering your questions, chatting about life. We just love to be in there talking about what's going on in our lives and just have a friendship in the wreathing community. We've got people in there who are sellers, others who just love to just create and make beautiful pieces for their home. We've got every level in the group. And I adore that because it's fun to have the more advanced students posting their work and motivating all of us to keep on creating and making beautiful things. And then we welcome the beginners because the beginners are exactly where we used to be when we started. So all of that is just a treasure. So I love to be live with them each week. You guys see that right there with some glue? I just covered it with moss. So we're just working our way around. And remember, I'm in the 3/4 zone. You can go further out. We're working with a 14-inch wreath base. You can go further out, but then you just need more material. So you'll have to plan on getting a couple more bushes. But this is our perimeter, and we want it kind of tight to I want it kind of tight to my garland we're going to be putting in the middle. So we're just working around. And if you don't have quite as much experience, like my 26 years, you might want to go ahead and put them in without gluing them first, then come back and glue it. I'm a little more confident in my placement just because I've done it thousands and thousands of times. This would be a gorgeous just wreath by itself. This rosemary is beautiful. Okay, that's looking amazing. Now the next thing we want to do is we're going to hold these off for a little bit. We've still got that much left, but you want to grab your gypso. That's the longer gypso. It's a filler. It's actually a filler bush, and we're going to take and trim it down to where each stem is nice and neat. So we're going to take and break these off and trim them nice and neat. Just take and tear this apart, and then once you do that, you can take and trim off the ends. We got to have it nice and neat. And we just want 2-inch stems on here, not very long. Once you do that, you're going to come up with these beautiful pieces just like that. And then with all of these neat trim pieces, we're going to work around and go right in between that rosemary. So one of the neat things about this trend with the baby's breath is that it is a little unruly. So you want to make sure you're staying in your clockwise design. So each one of these comes in, we're going to stay in our clockwise design. So I'm going to put this in a little bit more towards the center and work my way around. And we're going to try to go in between either each one or every other one. We'll see if we have enough to do each one. I think we've got enough. And I just put a little glue and we're pushing it in. Be a little bit liberal on the glue because you want to make sure it's going to stay good. If the glue globs up on the base, then you're going to come back and definitely cover it with the moss. So already we've created this really pretty look of the dark green in the background, the light green on the foreground. That layering up is gorgeous, okay? Created some beautiful interest, and I'm working my way right around. You guys have to come get supplies from us. If you'll try our supplies from police.com, I promise you'll be happy. I really try to have higher end pieces at reasonable prices. And if you join design school, you're going to get the next level teaching and assets right at your fingertips. So literally, you can always be inspired to create your next beautiful project. I did craft shows for a living, guys, which is unusual. A lot of people do craft shows on the side, but I did them for a living for 17 years. Some of that while teaching, and then the last 12 to 13 without teaching. I did take the leap of faith to do it for a living, traveled all over the country. I am thankful for all that experience because I can pass it on to you. With my construction techniques, I had to have things that held up to travel to different cities. That I also know what sells well because I've sold a lot of these pieces. And because we sell now on our website different designs and styles, not every trend is a trend that's a keeper. So, you know, I cut out the BS for you and just deliver what you need. Okay, you can see how gorgeous this is already, right? This is stunning already. Now our next layer is our longer gypso that's a little more, it's a little bit different green. And we're gonna take and cut this down. It comes in long stems. You're gonna push these up. I've already pushed them up to make these cute little clusters. And we wanna cut these fairly short. I just trimmed them like this. But what you wanna do is work around now and make these, I would say, about 4-inch stems. So trim everybody down to shorter little stems. So they're all the same. So you can just kind of gather them like this. You know, okay, this one's a little longer. See, this one needs to be pushed. There we go. And this one needs to be pushed a little more. I think they're a little cuter pushed into one cluster, if you can. See, let's see this one. Yeah. Okay, once you do that, then just kind of stack them up where they're pretty close. Oh, they're so pretty. And trim those all to 4-inch stems. So these are all pretty similar. Now we're going to work around the perimeter, and I'm going to put one and skip one this time. So we'll put one in and we'll skip one. Okay. So these are going to go like a little bit thicker, but in between. Now we're going to be using that garland towards the middle. So put one, skip one. I'm going to go right behind my other greenery we had. We can always come back and put more, but we're going to start this way. The garland's going in the center, and it's our really tight pop of white. We're going to work this all around the perimeter. Now let's say you're watching this and you're like, I love what you got going. I tell you what, you could just stick with this and just double this recipe right now and don't buy the garland. You could do it just like this too. So that's the kind of tips I give you in design school also. Because every recipe has so many different varieties. Think about when you're cooking. You know, some people want more onions, some people want some cayenne pepper, some people want, you know, a little more flour, or they want it gluten-free. Now I'm going to tuck in some in between here just to make some of these clusters a little thicker, and I'm going to make sure that those form a triangle. Uh-oh, we're getting deep on the design. You can do it though. Try it. All right, beautiful. Isn't this coming together so stinking pretty? We have barely gotten started and it's so pretty. Now grab your garland. The garland comes with these little attachment pieces that go on the bottom. You know, to hang it on things. We don't need that, but I do want to use this stem a little long to get her started. Now, the neat thing about this garland, she's on an incredible wire. I love that. So I'm going to utilize that to kind of bunch her up as we're putting it in. So we're going to pick a starting point, and we're going to start to put her in, go in the same direction. I'm going to just put her little wire here, and I want these to stay really tight to where everything else is gone so far. So the idea is we're going to run one on the outside and one on the inside. I want you to do a dry run and make sure it's going to fit. Oh my God, how pretty. I made this thinking you would use this for a wedding wreath, but nah, you can use it for yourself because it's so pretty. We're going to have enough to do 2 runs. So what we need to do is you can cut it or you can cable tie it. I think it's going to be a little easier to cut it, to control it. So I'm going to make like a little section here, and I'm going to leave myself a little bit of a stem here. And we're going to put a little glue on that. I'm going to bring the glue to it. Y'all, I don't use a glue gun. This is a bamboo stick coming into a, coming out of the glue pot. This is going to stay back a little because I'm going to have some on the inside. Now hit that with moss. This is so fun. All right, next little section. Let's do it. I gotta cut it in the middle so I can have a little stem on each side. Let's go right here. And we'll just tuck this right in. Let me get a little glue on this one. And we're gonna just make it like it's continuous. You can also take and cable tie it, like I said, but I think we'd be fighting a lot of cable ties in there. And then this one with a little wire end. Put some glue on it. So we're gonna go slow. Watch your glue strings. And this is kind of going a little bit more tighter to the florals because we're gonna run another little bit inside, okay? Cut it in the middle so you leave a little stem on each side. Get the glue right to it. Don't use a glue gun, please. It's way hot. You're gonna burn the tar out of yourself. Just stick with using your little electric skillet, and we're gonna work it around. So if you've never tried a glue skillet, you need to. They're just wonderful. The glue is just hot enough to manipulate, but not so hard you burn. You can still burn yourself, guys. You have to be careful, but not so bad. Pull that up. That stays up here. Use that wire in that garland to manipulate it. Let's cut this one into 2 sections. I don't have a bow planned for this one, but if you wanted to do a bow, you certainly could. Definitely leave a spot for a bow. Be totally fine. Here, oh my gosh, so pretty. I'm gonna put some glue there. I'm gonna put a little bit of moss to hold that one. Nice. Nice, nice. Okay, then our final piece is going right here. I'm gonna have a little bit of a holes slightly, but I'll start the next one there to go on the inside. So pick a side you want to go closer to. I think I'm going to go right here. And I got my glue, pushing it in. Okay, so now we're going to have a run around with another layer in the middle. And I think we could start it here and it'll be fine, but let's measure. We can always bring it more to the center. We've done a great job on the perimeter. So this is all I've got left. So you got to kind of space it out. Like if I start here, can we make it in the middle? We can, oh my God, so pretty. We can, I think we can. So let's just take, let me do the same technique of cutting it. I think that works better. Let's just cut this into little sections so we can kind of plan it out. It's kind of like that into little sections here. Let's see how it has a little gap there. We'll cut that one and we'll leave that. Here's all the sections. We have 3. Well, let's take this little gapper piece, put it right here. And don't freak out too much if you have a little bit of a hole because we can fill it in when we layer the next piece on. Oh my gosh, so pretty, guys. Okay, push that back just a little bit. Now we're gonna work inside here. So we have 3 of these. So if you will use the concept, if I put these kind of a little bit here, and a little bit here, and then a little bit here, there may be a couple of little holes, but you're not gonna notice them, okay? So let's start with this one up in that front. I just think this is fun because it goes to the really solid white in the middle and more wispy on the sides. Okay, push it in. Use that wire. There you go. Now scrunch that, oh, that's cute, together. And so we kind of work it on this line as we go to the next level. Okay, great. Now our next piece is gonna go in here. Pull those blooms up, manipulate that wire, and we're going right here, okay? It's the same thing, just pull the blooms out of your way. Remember how I said a little bit of a triangle shape. So you get, basically it's helping you get a good coverage, even when you don't have exactly enough to get all the way around. Okay, let's go. So we went one there, one here, and now, oh my God, then our third one's going here. This looks good. All right, now cutting it into the smaller pieces did give us a lot more control. So I'm gonna definitely recommend that rather than spinning it around like I thought we would do. I think that worked better. And then just push this in. Now you got a couple of little sections that maybe have a little bit less, like even going out to the perimeter, and you don't worry about that right now because what we're about to do is, see like here, I'm going to crisscross these blooms a little. They separate a little, just crisscross. It'll keep them where they look like they've grown together. Don't go crazy. You see how that works? Aha, so pretty. Now, she's looking amazing. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go through and I'm going to gently pull up any of these other gypsos that we have going to the perimeter. And we still have a few extra. So what you want to do is find a hole. See there's like a little hole here? So take, and you could even cut the pieces you have left into smaller pieces to get good coverage. Okay, now come on in there, come on in there. Just pop that, oh how pretty, right there, beautiful. So work my way around the perimeter again, and I'll take these little half pieces and put them tight to my other's baby's breast. Oh, that was so good. All right, let's keep doing that. Then our last touch after this is we're gonna add the a little bit more of the greenery. So keep this to the center. This stays in the center because the greenery holes that we're going to come around and fill are going to be on the outside. Okay, so you got to make sure you keep this in the middle. One more piece here. I'm going to separate. So hold a little bit of that off because you are going to have a couple of little gaps when you work with the garland. So not only can this be for a wedding, guys, but you can use this same recipe for different seasons and just play with it because it's so pretty. This one right here. Just remember, once you start that traffic flow, the direction, you stick with it. Take a look and look beyond the surface and don't look at all the pretty white. Look at the green in the background and look for holes. We've got about 6 or 8 pieces left of this and we're going to go in behind. Remember, this goes behind, not the foreground. And we're just going to keep watching that shape. And you're going to help kind of full up and finish out the shape. If it's a little bit overwhelming to look at the whole thing, just look at one section at a time. I'm going to go around. I see a little bit of a hole on this side. Fill that in. So I'm looking at the perimeter. And you might want to go hang it up and just kind of be like, okay, this is so full and lush. I cannot wait to take pictures of this. This is exactly what the brides are wanting in their weddings right now. So I'm sure it would go so quick for that. But this is just a stunning, beautiful wreath and a gorgeous recipe you can use anytime, y'all. Okay, you're gonna have to share it with me when you try yours. It's luscious. This is a 14-inch wreath base. It's kind of the smallest size I like to work with, but you guys could go smaller if you wanted. Now this is our ivy stem that we're gonna use to go ahead and create kind of the base for the entire wreath. And it's so easy to tear. You just take and tear those branches and then you're just going to trim them off to about 1-inch stems. So I have 2 bushes of the ivy and we're going to start by, basically in design school we call this shaking hands. That means you're just shaping out the pieces to go forward. You are going to need a little bit of Spanish moss close by because that's how you're going to cover your glue. I'm a big advocate of covering my mechanics when I'm designing. So we're going to start to work our way around. I'm going to go a zigzag pattern. So we're going to start outside with one of the stems. Okay, and you see how you can see the glue, you're going to want to cover that. And you also, by adding that little bit of tension in there, you help support the stem. That's something I started doing years ago, guys. This is year 26 for me creating, designing, and having my own business. And so once I discovered how easy it was to work with that Spanish moss in there, I loved it because it made it just so much easier to create like a little secure spot for all of your stems when they're going in the grapevine. So just take and push it in. It's going to cover the glue, but it's going to create some tension. We're going to work our way around. We're going to keep zigzagging. You're just going to go one stem at a time. So we go outside, then we go inside and work our way around. Okay, and every time you get to that point, you're going to add a little bit of moss in there to create some tension. Here we go, working our way around. And this is going to create just a great foundation for all of the beautiful berries to go on top of. And make sure you're going into the vine. You want to kind of watch your perimeter too. There's a few steps here we're doing at the same time. I want to keep everything kind of consistent on that perimeter. And we'll work our way around. These are some of my favorite wreaths to make because they're pretty quick and they're satisfying. And you would just be shocked how many of these you can sell, guys. Some of this type of design were my best sellers in my Etsy shop because they are a neutral piece that can kind of work for every season. And it's really fun that the ivy is trending in something different, so we can play with some different greenery. All right, and once you pick a direction, here we're working clockwise, and you're going to see every stem we're going in is going in clockwise. That is another design principle we teach in design school, and it is about direction and direction changes and transition points, and they're important in your wreath making because it's going to help you
have a consistent look, and it helps you with the lines. When it all comes down to it, the lines create the flow of the design, and they give you that natural, beautiful look. See how pretty? We ended up with 3 pieces in the middle, and we're going to have 1 more on the outside. And if you're not ready just to start putting them in like I am, you guys can stick them in blue merinos. You can stick them in and then come back and glue them. We had 4 of those bushes, and we broke them up into small pieces, and we did the same technique we did on the ivy. So what we're going to do first this time is we're going to work around our perimeter. And with the perimeter, what we want to do is we want to be putting all around the outside the white berries, and then we'll save more kind of to the inside in a moment. So you're going to be dipping these in your glue skillet. And if you don't have a glue skillet, that's an electric skillet that's used for cooking. It's kind of a smaller one. And what we've done is we use it for hot glue. And you could do the same thing in your home. Once you use it for hot glue, that's what it's for. You can't go back to cooking in it, but it's a great tool. And you can see I'm not pulling any triggers or having to do repeated movements. I can just put things right in them. So if you are making a lot of wreaths, it's just a really super easy way to do it. So I'm going to start off with putting 3 in each section out here on the outside. If you don't need to cover it with glue, if it goes in nice and tight, then you can put the Spanish moss on. We're gluing each piece in, but you don't have to put the Spanish moss if you don't want to. And these are going to go in the background of our design. So in design school, I'm always going to teach you about the foreground and the background and what's going in the middle zone of the wreath. All of that's important to kind of draw the eye in or out or up or around, depending on the lines we're creating. So right now we're going in the background, and the neat thing is all of the components and pieces we sell on Cleese.com are all great pieces that are wired. They're going to have beautiful, easy to manipulate wires inside each piece that make it so much easier to design. You see how I just brought that ivy up? Like, all of that is just priceless when it comes to making your work quality. You want your work to be quality, not only so your house looks beautiful, but if you decide to sell your pieces, if you want to get in and learn Etsy with us and learn how to market yourself better on all the social media, and come and join us in business coaching and in our design school, these little details matter, okay? Because we can teach you how to market and do all the things, but your product's gotta be at a good caliber so we can hopefully have a great demand for it. And set yourself apart. Even if you're one of our craft show students, we have a lot of students who do craft shows, and the way they set themselves apart is by coming and joining design school and learning designs that are not made with things from the big box stores. So when they set up their booth and their competition is right next to them, they're smoking them because it's not the same look, it's not the same thing. And people want to have beautiful homes, but not everybody wants to look cookie cutter and be exactly the same. So think about that when you're producing your designs. So I'm working out here to the outside. I'm going around right here. I'm working between. I'm trying to put 3 pieces of the berry in between each piece of ivy, the way we have it spaced. If I can, if it looks right. You may get 2 or 3. Either way is fine. You can always also, till you feel comfortable, remember, you can take and just totally lay it out and then come back and glue. Remember, I've got a 26-year head start on you. So I'm going to be able to glue it in right as we're rocking and rolling, okay? Now I'm just turning some of these leaves forward and kind of looking at my spacing. So we did the perimeter. Now I'm ready to come to the inside. And you can see how I'm moving everybody up. They were flat when we started. Now everybody's moving up, and they're reaching out, and they have this dimension. And you're going to see, you might have already seen on the finished images of this wreath, that's important, and it really matters. Now I'm going to put 2 in the middle, they're going to be placed in the middle, but they're going to kind of go to this middle zone, okay? And when I say 2, I'm going to try to put 2 between each piece of greenery. But let's just start with 1, okay? Let's just start with 1 behind each greenery right here, because you got to get to a spot where it can sit in the grapevine too. We're going to just start with 1 in each section. Then I'm going to come back and start to put more than 1, okay? So right now we're kind of working in the middle. And I am going kind of manipulate that grapevine. Get in there with your finger. Separate it if you need to, like I needed to get in there. Just keep working. You notice I just keep spinning the wreath. That's so I can just keep working, going the same direction, not losing my flow. I just spin it around. And I'm making this on a table with you today, but you guys can make this on a wreath stand if you want to make it in front of you. That I always like doing too. Okay, there's one piece between every one, but you can already see we're going to need some more in here on this side. So we're going to work our way for another round around. Round and round and round we go. Okay, and lay that ivy right on top of it and just manipulate the leaves. Let's put one back here so we get it a little thicker. So this is when you're going to start to try to even it out a little. We've been fairly precise, but not too much. We're still just kind of free forming, so it doesn't look like it's machine made. It looks like it's, you know, it's handmade. Like someone took time. There's some art and design in here when they put it together. Okay, see how I'm working? I really feel like I need a little more ivy over here. And remember, we saved those pieces from earlier. And if you hadn't done that yet, you can go steal some pieces from some of the longer pieces and just make your own little cluster. I'm taking those 3 pieces, we're clustering them together. We're gonna get them with a little glue, and I'm gonna go right in here. And we're gonna put this little bit of ivy right in here. Perfect. And that'll break up those berries a little. Nice, perfect. All right, now we've got about 6 or 8 pieces left, and I want you to work those right in the middle now. We work the inside, we work the outside. Now start going through and get right in the middle. And remember, if you can see the glue, you got to grab that moss. See, there's a little hole right here. We're going to go in it. And you don't have to be like precise per se, guys, because you know, you don't mind if some of the grapevine shows. That in this design, it's a natural, fun look. So we're going to work all the way around until we feel like we've got no big gaping holes. None of our glue is showing. We got this beautiful movement. You see all that? That's going to move when a little breeze hits the front door. That's so refreshing. And this look can stay on a door really all year long. There's some people who don't do anything seasonal, and this will work great for them. And then for others, they just want something up, you know, right after holidays. They want to be able to switch them out, and this is just a great solution for that. I've got about 3 more pieces. Just kind of going in these little holes. Just keep spinning it around. And the main thing here is, you see, once we chose that clockwise direction, we stayed with it. We did not vary off that, because that would look so confusing with all these wispy pieces. It would look like a wild, you know, wild reeds that haven't really blown with the wind. They've kind of gone all the directions. Oh my gosh, y'all, this is turning out so gorgeous. So gorgeous. I love it. It's so full. That makes it so fun. So we used 4 of these bushes. We have the whole supply list for you on Cleese.com. You can ask for it here or text us at 832-734-5201. You just want to text us the word list, and it'll shoot you all the most recent supply lists. If there's any on there that are password protected, that's because that's for design school students who have, whenever I put out something new, they get first access to the supplies. So if you see that, just know that's for design school. And the others are available for those who aren't students to just jump in and give it a try. Look how gorgeous. Way to dress up like this beautiful design we've made and make it look a little bit different is to add a bow. And the 3-loop bow that we just showed you how to make is just perfect for this. And I like to put it down here at about 7, 8 o'clock. If you think about the clock hands on the wreath, they look just lovely poked right into here. So just take, you've got your cable tie right there, just take and reach down and go between a few pieces of the greenery down here and grab some of the grapevine. Just kind of move some stuff out of your way. You don't need a whole lot of, you don't have to put it down deep or grab all of this. Just move it out of your way a little. And then grab a little of that grapevine. The cool thing is you can put this loose or tight, however you want it to look. I'm going to get it tight so we can kind of tuck it in there. Then just cut off that little tail end. And this, you know, we're adding this to this wreath to make it look beautiful and it's part of our design. But literally you can dress up an older wreath you have so easy by doing this also. So this is kind of one of those tips that you can use in a number of ways. And did you see how I let some stuff overlap it? In design school, we call that breaking the plane, and it's an important part of our design because we like our pieces not to look like they're just set in, but like they are part of the design and they flow together. And then just take a couple minutes and curl up your tails. Just do some nice little curls. And those will flow beautifully down into your design. And look how sweet that is with the bow and the curls, just adding that little touch to the finished design. Isn't that adorable? This is a gorgeous, trending, like classic look that's never gonna go out of style. I'll see you next time, Blue Merinos.